Well, hello, hello, hello. This is Queen Mother Speaks. Welcome to Queen Mother Speaks, every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. from Nairobi, Kenya. I am so happy to welcome you to today's show, and I really do want to thank Nana Afua Adezua, our co-host who served as our host. She served as our host for the last month, that entire month of August. And boy, oh boy, did we have a thrilling learning experience with the adventures of the Underground Railroad. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Nana. And yes, we will do it again. As we've stated, we are in season 8, and our theme for this season and one of our guests, you're really going to like this. Our theme is, if not you, who? If not now, when? The time is now. And that's right. We feel like the time is now for you to do something about whatever it is you want to do. Just rise up, you mighty nation of men and women. Hey, 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 go ahead. Hit that like button, that share button, the comment button. I'd like to give some shout outs right now to some members of the viewing audience. Hello to Abimbola, one of our faithful followers, Lady Mo, Ursula Anderson, Michelle, Ernestine, High Priestess Seyshot, Carmen, and Tina, all coming to us from Atlanta, Georgia. Nana, tell us who's in studio today.
Well, hello, everybody. We've got an exciting show for you today. What can I say? But first, I want you to sign in, tell us your name and where you're from. So today, in the studio today, we have facilitator DePauli from the Art of Living Institute, and we're having a free breathing session today. We've got young rising star Caleb Neverson from Birmingham, Alabama, here in the United States. You know, there's a Birmingham, England. There's a lot of different Birminghams, but he's my next door neighbor because I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, DePauli, she's in Kenya, in Nairobi, Kenya, where Queen Mother is at. Also, today from Marrakesh, Morocco, we've got the Tilila Report for you. So I invite you to get relaxed and ready for this awesome show. Hit the like, the share, comment button, and then make sure you go to your YouTube pages and subscribe to Queen Mother Speaks, my channel under Teresa R. Kemp, and Tilila Report, also on YouTube. We want you to subscribe. You can leave us comments there. You can watch the show there or on the Facebook pages. So if this is your first time tuning in, we thank you so much for being here. We have men and women and youth having a very unique and innovative projects and transformative works, plus special shows like today. So just stay right there, go to our page, tell us who you are, tell us where you are, and call your friends and family and tell them the Queen Mother Speaks show is on. Click on facebook.com/Queen Mother Speaks and Facebook page, my author's page, Teresa R. or it just says author Teresa R. Kemp, correct. So back to you, Queen Mother.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did we give our guests a chance to say hello? Did they say hello at all? I don't think so.
Absolutely. Nope. I
Please
sure
say
did.
hello to the listening audience. And we do have some people tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb, you want to say hello?
Well, yes. I'd like to say good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be on the podcast this evening. Well, of course, it's morning because I'm in the States. It's 9 a.m. where I am. But good evening to the good people of Nairobi, Kenya, and throughout the continent of Africa.
Thank you, Caleb. And thank you to all of our guests tuning into Queen Mother Speaks today. I would like to give a shout out to all the people having a birthday in this month of September. And I'd like to start it out by giving a shout out to Baba Elimu Injao, who just turned 90 about a week or so ago. Mm-hmm. His wife, Felda, is turning 83 on Friday this week. Happy birthday, Felda. Queen Mother, love you and love you very much. And also on September 11th, Samantha will be celebrating her birthday. So we like to say hello to all of those September born babies. From the West Coast, we'd like to thank all of those who rose early this morning to watch the show. Thank you for Red, Adisa Kwashi from Los Angeles. We have Tashmia, Nyla, Hakika, and Samantha, all from San Francisco, California. Now, Queen Mother want to remind you to continue to keep safe and wash your hands, not because the government told you to, but simply because it's the right thing to do. Huh? We thank you for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks, which is a safe place for inspiration and expression. I would like to also say to you there is a show called Bonga Dada Bonga. Bonga Dada Bonga. You've heard me talk about it. You've heard Nana talk about it too, Bonga Dada Bonga. And it is on every Thursday, live at 12 noon New York time and at 7 p.m. Kenya time. What do you do for that show? You click on youtube.com/bonga dada bonga. So now, what is this thing? Thank you to all of our listeners who are tuned in today. Let's see today. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of those of you who are tuning in right now. So, what is Queen Mother Speaks? It is a community platform, okay, for commentary and conversations that matter. We give you insights to raise awareness, to inform you, to inspire, to ignite, to educate. We want you to also laugh. We give you updates on expatriating to Africa. We have warm, witty dialogue with our guests, and we give you a inspirational quote or an inspirational verse. All right. All right. So stay tuned. That's what King Mother Speaks is. Right now, we're going to bring on Dipali, who is from the Institute, from the Art of Living Institute, the Art of Living Institute. So what happened is that we had a live breathing session about a year ago, and it did me such good during the pandemic that I decided I wanted to incorporate this into Queen Mother Speaks every single week. And so this week we have with us live in the studio today, Dipali, who's going to take us through a exercise, and she'll tell us about the exercise that she will teach us today. She says that she likes to take care of her mental hygiene as much as her physical hygiene. And she said various tools that are taught by the Art of Living Institute has really helped her to remain positive and also to help her to recover from a severe illness. So since that time, Dipali has been very careful to reach out and help others in need because to her, it's so fulfilling and brings positivity in her life when she's working with me and you and others on techniques of breathing. Please greet Dipali.
Hi,
Dipali?
everybody. Hi, everybody. Nice to be on this platform. Thank you, Queen Mother, for this opportunity. And as she mentioned, I'm associated with Art of Living spiritual organization, which was founded by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar in 1980s. And we fondly call him Guruji. And some of the processes and the breathing techniques that are taught really help us to remain positive, happy, healthy, live a very quality life. And today I'm going to share you two breathing exercises. But before we start that, I want to share one quote from his knowledge sheets, which is one of my favorites. Clarity in mind, purity in heart, and sincerity in action. I love this quote, and so many of the techniques that I have learned in this organization have helped me to get clarity in my mind, positivity. My heart has become humbled. I feel grateful, and that brings sincerity in my action. Definitely, your action is a reflection of your thoughts. So when your mind is clear, your actions are also clear and sincere. That's what I believe, and that's what he teaches us in that knowledge sheet. So what he has said is very true, and some simple techniques can help us achieve all those three things. The clarity in mind can come through knowledge, reading or listening to spiritual knowledge, maybe 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes in a day, anytime. Listen to your favorite speaker, or maybe read a small passage from a from a book written by any of your favorite spiritual leaders. Can really help you become positive, get clarity of thoughts of what you want to achieve in life. That again obviously leads to purity in the heart. You feel grateful, you feel gracious, we feel attitude of gratitude is the way of life. Everything feels positive when you have gratitude in your heart. And that both those together can bring sincerity in your action. You don't feel, you don't get negative thoughts in your mind, no anger, no jealousy, no hatred. You feel grateful for this beautiful life that God has given you, and that helps to be sincere in the action. So let's sit comfortably with our spine straight. If possible, you can sit on your yoga mat, or you can sit on a chair with your spine straight. The breathing techniques that I'm going to show you can be done once or twice a day. First breathing technique is preferably done on empty stomach, 2 hours after heavy meal, or one hour after a light meal. And it is called energizing breath. It gives instant energy to in your body. So if during the day or in the middle of the day you feel little fatigued or tired, this energy boosting exercise can really keep you going for the day, and the day doesn't feel too long. So let's start. I'm going to sit on the yoga mat, but you can sit on the chair also if you can't sit down. There is a posture that we get into for this exercise, which I'm going to get into. But if it's difficult for you, then chair is fine. If you can sit with your legs behind, we call it diamond pose. If you're not so comfortable, you can keep a cushion in between your legs and your seat, or under your legs. This is the way, the posture that we get in the diamond pose, and we are going to sit. I'm going to show you how to do this exercise, but before that, let's just warm up. Let's shake our hands, our body, our shoulders, our neck, everything all around. Just move your body a bit. Release that tension, that stiffness, up, down, in front, on the sides, some neck movements, some shoulder movements, and relax. So let's sit with our palms on the thighs. I'm going to demonstrate it once, and then we all are going to do it together. We'll do 10 counts and 3 rounds. So you can, if you have not done this exercise before, you can start with 10 counts, 3 rounds, and then gradually increase up to 20 counts. 20 counts and 3 rounds. Although it is not, this exercise is a little bit energizing and strengthening, so it's not recommended for pregnant women, and people with hypertension can take it easy, breathe slowly, mildly, or if they are not comfortable, they can avoid it. So let's start. We'll take our hands in loose fist in front of our shoulders. Our shoulders are relaxed, head is straight, spine straight. Just ensure that your spine is straight, whichever posture, wherever you are sitting. And what we are going to do is, as we breathe in, we are going to raise our hands up and open our fists. As we breathe out, we are going to bring our hands down and close the fist. When we breathe in, we breathe normally, but when we bring our hands down and breathe out, we are going to bring our hands a little forcefully and breathe out forcefully as well. The breathing out or exhalation should make a noise like you are blowing your nose. So breathing in, and when you breathe out, Your nose should make a sound. You can keep a tissue or serviette with you in case you need one. So let me show you one or two times and then we'll all do it together. So I've taken the position. Breathe in, open the hands, out, close the hands, and breathe out. We blow as if you're blowing your nose. So let's all get ready. Take position. Hands in loose fist in front of the shoulders, elbows gently touching the sides, shoulders relaxed, head straight. With a smile on your face, take a normal deep breath in and exhale. Now, breathe normally as you take your hands up, open the palms, breathe out, put your hands down, and close the palms into a fist. In, 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 three, in, four, in, five, in, six, in, seven, in, eight, in, nine, in, 10. Completing the 10th round, keep your palms resting on the hips, thighs, or knees. The palms are open to sky. Just be in the sensations of in the body. Breathe normally. Whatever is happening in the body, let it happen. Your body is being energized as if power is introduced. Just breathe normally. Let's take position for the second round. We are going to do 10 breaths. So let's take position, hands in loose fist. With a smile, breathe normally. Take a deep breath in and exhale. One more breath in and exhale fully. Now, with normal breath, breathe in. When you raise your hands, make sure you raise them straight up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. Just breathe normally and feel whatever is happening in the body. You can keep your eyes open or closed and just be with yourself. Let's go for the third and final round. We'll do 10 counts of breath in the last round. Again, when you raise your hands, please raise them straight, not forward, not backward. And when you bring them down, bring them with little force, but not jerking your shoulders. So let's start. Take a normal deep breath in and exhale. One more deep breath in and exhale fully. Now, let's start the count. In, 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 out, out, in, out, in, 5, in, 6, in, 7, in, 8, in, 9, in, 10, and relax. As you complete your 10th breath, relax with palms on the thighs, open to sky. And if you have been sitting like me now, you can come out of that posture and sit easily, comfortably, and feel your body energize. This technique is called energizing breath, and there is a reason why. It gives instant energy and makes you stronger and takes you through the daily activities much more easily, comfortably, smoothly. So you can do it twice or thrice a day, morning, afternoon, evening, or twice a day, up to 20 counts and 3 rounds. Whatever you are comfortable with. Start slowly and gradually you can increase. So let's sit again. Let's sit comfortably and breathe normally. Long, deep breaths. Now, as our mood changes, our breathing pattern also changes. So, the second exercise that I'm going to show you helps you calm down and before you wind up your day, and that helps you with a good night quality sleep. It can be done even in the morning or at any time of the day when you feel you want to calm down from a hectic meeting or something. You can do this exercise and feel little calm and composed. The doing this exercise at night before going to bed can really help you have a good night's sleep. So let's start. I'm going to show you how to the position of the hands and the fingers. So let me come close. Your left palm is going to be in this position, making circle with the index finger and thumb, and the rest of the fingers are straight. Rest it on your left thigh. The right palm is in front of your face, thumb on the right nostril, the index finger and middle finger in the middle of the eyebrows, and the last two fingers on the left nostril. So let's start. Take position and with a smile on your face. You can keep your eyes closed or open, but closed eyes can give you the best effect. So we are going to breathe normally. This technique is called alternate nostril breathing. So I'm going to show you how you can breathe in and out alternatively through the each nostril. But to start, let's breathe normally with both the nostril and exhale. Once again, breathe in with both nostrils. Close the right nostril with the thumb and exhale with the left nostril. Inhale with left nostril. Close the left nostril with the thumb, with the fingers and release the thumb and exhale with the right nostril. Inhale with right nostril. Close it, release the fingers and exhale with the left nostril. Inhale with left nostril. Close it, release the thumb and exhale from the right. Inhale from right. Exhale from left. Inhaling from left and finally exhaling from the left it makes one round. So let's start another round. Inhale from left nostril. Close it. Release the thumb. Exhale from the right nostril. Inhale from right. Close it. Release the fingers and exhale from the left. That is one more round. We'll do two more rounds. Inhale from left. Exhale from right. Inhale from right. Exhale from left. One last round. Inhale from left and exhale from right. Long, normal deep breath. Inhale from right. And exhale from left. As you complete your last round, just relax with your eyes closed. Palms are on the thighs, open to sky, and just be in the sensations of this technique. Feel deep relaxation. Daily practice of these can bring you real relaxation, calm mind, and positivity in your lifestyle. Keep breathing. This is deep relaxing technique. And after doing this technique, if you can sit nicely with your eyes closed and just go within yourself for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before going to bed, just whatever thoughts that come to mind, just let them come. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, thoughts about how the day was, thoughts about what you are going to do tomorrow, anything, whatever. Give yourself those 5 minutes. Be with yourself in a quiet corner of the house or even in your bed before going to sleep. You can sit with your spine straight. Do this breathing exercise 8 to 10 rounds and then just sit and with your eyes closed. Be with yourself. Breathe normally. Long, normal, deep breaths can really calm you down, calm your mind, and your body goes into relaxation mode and results in a deep, good night sleep. If your eyes were closed, you can open them and hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something nice and hope you will follow these breathing techniques on daily basis and feel the result. Doing them on daily basis can really uplift the quality of your life. Thank you, Queen Mother, for this opportunity. And if anybody has any questions, I'm here.
Yes, I do have a question, Dipali.
Yes, please.
This time last year, I had a very, very dear friend to make her transition. And so as we are embarking upon that day this year, my heart is starting to feel a bit heavy. So I was
Okay.
wondering what breathing technique would you recommend for me inside of this grieving I'm now having?
The second technique that we did can really help calm your mind
Okay,
and go through this painful time that you're going
okay,
through.
okay,
So you can do this second exercise that I showed you
okay,
uh, in the morning and in the evening or at night before going to bed, because usually that's the time the thoughts start and then don't let us sleep calmly, comfortably. So doing this exercise at night before going to bed, followed by a relaxation, closing your eyes, just being with yourself, even if those thoughts keep coming, the face keeps appearing in front of you, just let it happen, let them come.
okay,
Will come, those thoughts and those faces will come and gradually slowly pass by as you keep breathing deeply, and will help you relax. And at the end, after doing both these, before you go to bed, just read some nice spiritual knowledge, a sheet, a page, a paragraph, depending on what time you have, talking about positivity and what life is all about and what this transition called life and death is. And that will really help you go through whatever painful time or the episode that you are going through now.
mhm, okay, all right. Thank you
Please
so
try,
very much.
and I hope you feel better.
Okay. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that with me, DePauli. And thank you once again for being on the Queen Mother Speak show and giving us these breathing exercises. I don't know about you, But like I say, it was during the pandemic when I've heard of breathing before, yes, 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 but actually participating. It was during the pandemic that I started participating. And I found that it helped me so much until I wanted you to share in that as well, because there's so much going on in the world today that we ourselves are not in control of. So anything that you can do to calm your spirit, to calm your mind, and that of your mate and your family and your friends, it works. So thank you once again to Polly for being on the Queen Mother Speak Show and bringing us a breathing exercise. And basically, she taught us two techniques today. Okay,
Yes,
the energizing technique, right?
yes,
We want
yes,
quick energy, and she gave us a calming technique.
yes.
Thank you very much. Now, right
Thank
now is when we go into the Queen Mother Speaks affirmation. Now, we're already at 30 minutes past the hour. We normally like to end at 6, but I'm going to tell you that we're going to run a little bit over, not much, a little bit over, but we have a very exciting report for you today, and we have a very exciting show for you. So I am going to go ahead and do um, the exercise right now, the affirmation, and then we'll get on with the rest of the program. Thank you for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. So, what I'm going to do in this moment, I'm going to do the meditation reflective reading, and I want you to listen with your heart. Okay, our topic for today's meditation is I see with eyes of compassion. I see with eyes of compassion. I see with eyes of compassion. What you see in the world depends on the eyes you use for seeing. Ah, if you want to see more love, decide to see with the eyes of love. If you desire more compassion, look at your most challenging experiences with the eyes of compassion. What you look with, you see more of. Your true self is constantly calling you to rise up in consciousness and be the deliverer of what the world prays to see. I step into my greater yet to be and reveal the very, very best of me, regardless of what's going on. As the observer, okay, of what's around me, I choose how I look at and how I see my world. I choose to see the divine perfection in it all. I move compassionately through my day. My heart is light as a feather. Thank you. Order in me, as me, around me, through the Christ within. And so it is. Our scripture for today is Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of the law. That is Psalms 119:18. And I thank you for listening to a meditative reading for today. Now, I want to take a moment, given what DePauli has just taught us, I want to take a moment of silence in honor of my dear, dear, dear sister friend in California who departed us this time about a year ago. May her soul rest in power. We'll just take a moment of silent reflection. Okay, thank you so very much for that. All right, so next on the show, we're going to have the Tilila Report. Nana, are you in studio? Will you be able to bring on Tilila for us? Okay, I guess she's not in studio. Well, let me bring on Talila, and let me say to you that when Shakespeare's character Dick Butcher in Henry IV, Part 2 said, the first thing we must do is kill all the lawyers, did Shakespeare have it right? 600 years later, whether you believe it or not, there are some things that the Trump administration and his cohorts did to upset what happened in America around the 2020 election. So whether you believe it or not, today we want to bring you a report that sheds light on the fact of what actually did happen. Okay, what actually did happen during the insurrection of January 6th, and that's going to be brought to us by Miss Tilila with the Tilila Report. Let's bring her up. Okay, let's see if we can get the sound. Just hold on with us. We're trying to get the sound going. Oh dear. Let me exit the full screen and see where the IT problem may be with bringing in this report right now. But that's what we want to do right here, right now. Thank you for bearing with me. I am okay, well, we may have to come back to this, but we do want to hear this report. I'm
While
doing all
she's
I
working,
can.
while she's
So,
working to get the report going, then let us take a moment of silence for things going on around the world. So, Queen Mother, you just keep going. And as you get it started, we'll be ready. As you know, we have so many refugees around the world who are trying to flee for safety. We've had floods, we've had fires, we've had landslides, we've had earthquakes. So right now, I would like for you to take a moment of silence with me as we pray for all of those who are not as blessed as we are this morning. Challenges come, but this too shall pass. You'll come out stronger and you'll rebound from all of
Hello
the.
and
Welcome to
welcome to another edition of the Tilila
I'm
Report.
American lawyer
I'm
Elizabeth
American
Myers
lawyer
coming to you
Elizabeth
live from
Myers coming
Marrakesh,
to you live
Morocco.
from Marrakesh,
In the North
Morocco.
African language
In the
of
North
Tamazigh,
African language of
Tilila means
Tamazight,
freedom,
Tilila
and that's
means
what we
freedom,
cover,
and
anything
that's what
that
we cover,
impacts
anything that
democracy and the rule
impacts
of law,
democracy and the rule
and
of
your
law,
freedom to
and
life,
your
liberty,
freedom
and the
to
pursuit
life,
of happiness.
liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
According to the latest polls in
According
the
to the
US,
latest
top of
polls
mind for
in the
American
US,
voters
top of mind for American voters, both Republicans and Democrats, is democracy and the rule of law. And right now, the rule of law is being tested. We will know soon enough whether it is true or not that in America, no one is above the law, including a former president of the United States. Former President Donald Trump and his organization are under investigation in a number of different jurisdictions: Georgia, New York State, New York City, for election interference, financial fraud, and tax evasion, amongst other things. And now the DOJ has indicated through its pleadings that Trump is under investigation by the FBI in Florida for potential violations of at least 3 federal statutes relevant to his taking presidential records from the White House when he left office. One is removal or destruction of records, 2 is for obstruction of justice, and 3 is the Espionage Act, each of which statute carries a prison term sentence ranging from up to 3 years to up to 20 years. So in January of this year, after months of negotiations with the National Archives, Trump returned to the government 15 boxes of documents that he had taken with him when he left the White House in January 2021. Some of that material was classified. This past spring, DOJ issued a subpoena after months of negotiations for additional documents, but Trump did not comply. So on June 3rd, a top FBI official visited his resort at Mar-a-Lago to try and resolve the matter. On June the 8th, the FBI told Trump to secure a storage room in which those boxes were held. And on June 22nd, the FBI subpoenaed surveillance footage of the storage room. One of Trump's lawyers then signed a declaration in June asserting that all classified material had been returned and none remained at Mar-a-Lago. Well, that statement turned out to be false. The FBI's search on August 8th turned up an additional couple of dozen boxes of materials Trump had taken from White House. And according to the FBI's inventory, the materials included photos, a clemency document related to the pardon of Roger Stone, handwritten notes, records labeled Info Re President of France, and 11 sets of documents marked classified at several different levels of sensitivity, including top secret and TSSCI, one of the highest levels of government classification, for which even people with clearances have to review them in a special facility. Trump told his aides last year that he believed that some of the documents were his personal property, but that he'd agreed to return some, giving the government what he believed they were entitled to. Well, DOJ became concerned based on information provided by inside informants that there were more records at Mar-a-Lago, compromising potentially American sources and methods and endangering the lives of our operatives. Because of the grave danger to the US's national security, compounded by Trump's failure to fully cooperate, the DOJ decided that a search was necessary and the FBI executed a lawfully issued search warrant on August 8th. This was not a raid, it was done by the book, according to a warrant signed by a judge. The treasure trove of classified documents seized and the subsequent pleadings DOJ has filed in response to Trump's demands for more information has borne out DOJ's concern about national security. DOJ's August 15th federal court filing in opposition to unsealing the affidavit on which the search warrant was based stated that it should not be made public to protect the integrity of its investigation into national security matters. On August 16th, the day after that, Trump posted on his Truth Social platform something that called for the release of a completely unredacted affidavit. And he echoed the demands of his legal team, who were also seeking to know the names of the witnesses who spoke to the investigators. On August 18th, the federal judge directed DOJ to send him a redacted version of the affidavit for unsealing by August 25th. And 2 weeks after the search, and the affidavit was duly unsealed and made public in a redacted form. 2 weeks after the search, lawyers representing Trump asked a different federal judge, one appointed by Trump, to appoint an independent special master to examine the documents seized from Mar-a-Lago and decide whether there were attorney-client or executive privilege items. In an unusual move by a judge, before the DOJ was even given a chance to weigh in and respond to the pleading, the judge indicated her preliminary intent to appoint a special master. Well, on August 30th, the DOJ filed what the media is sensationalizing as a blockbuster pleading, but indeed, it contained some quite startling information. DOJ first responded that the special master is, quote, unnecessary and would significantly harm important governmental interests, including national security interests. The filing also stated that Trump's request came too late. DOJ's filter team had already reviewed and identified any documents subject to attorney-client privilege. But more significantly, the filing cataloged a series of actions by Trump and his lawyers, including photos and other exhibits attached to the pleading that they say are evidence that former President Donald Trump's team deliberately obstructed the investigation by the FBI into the discovery of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago in June. DOJ's pleading says expressly that Trump's legal representatives explicitly prohibited government personnel from opening or looking inside of any of the boxes, close quotes, inside the storage room. It also asserted that classified documents had been deliberately concealed and moved and stashed away in office drawers. According to this filing, we now know that the FBI seized another 33 boxes, not 27, containing more than 100 classified records during the August 8th search. So now in total, investigators have recovered 48 boxes containing more than 300 classified documents from Mar-a-Lago. Trump may now face indictment, but that may not stop him from running again for president. In the immediate aftermath of the search, Trump's approval ratings went up dramatically, and since then, the GOP's election strategy has been to harness the voter outrage. Republicans have not only defended the former president, calling the DOJ and the FBI corrupt or Gestapo, and saying that the FBI should be defunded, but they are politically capitalizing on the search as the springboard for Trump's candidacy. They are also using the search to heavily fundraise. Far-right extremists are using the search as a rallying call on social media platforms as a call to action, and polls are showing an increase in the numbers of Republicans who believe that violent action is justified to achieve political means. With threats of violence escalating on far-right platforms of all kinds, law enforcement officials are issuing stark warnings about domestic terrorism. But significantly, the threats are coming from the top. We now know that former President Trump tried to communicate directly with Attorney General Garland after the search, issuing a mob-like veiled threat suggesting that he could, quote, turn the temperature down, close quotes, if Garland stopped investigating. And there have been calls for, quote, riots in the streets by Republican Senators Lindsey Graham, and also for mayhem by one of Trump's newly appointed Florida lawyers. And these are not even veiled threats. Every day brings another Trumpery. It's such an apt word. It means worthless nonsense. Trump initially claimed that he had declassified all the documents, but he has produced no record of that cumbersome formal process. And indeed, no White House staff was ever informed of that. And then he claimed inconsistently that the FBI had planted the documents. Well, the latest Trumpery came on this past Monday when the former president, quote, truthed on his failing social media platform, saying that the latest DOJ pleading shows that he should be reinstated as president, or at a minimum, have a do-over of the 2020 election. This is utterly absurd and completely unhinged. On Monday, he had unleashed a deluge of so-called truth containing election lies. And yesterday, Google suspended his Truth Social app on Google Play because of the lack of controls against the spread of lies, disinformation, and conspiracy theories on the platform. So Android users cannot now even download it. The platform has also been defaulting on its bills, apparently owing $1.6 million just to its web hosting service, and it might have to be declared bankrupt like so many other of Trump's businesses. But the biggest national security question remains why the former president was so intent on keeping 48 boxes of classified materials at his resort and what he planned to do with them. Or worse, since everything that Trump touches gets monetized, what he has already done with them, to whom he has shown them, or to whom he has sold them. And this brings me full swing to the rule of law. As you can see, in all of these efforts, lawyers are present in all aspects of the unlawfulness that surrounds Trump. Maybe sometimes the lawyers act unwittingly. Perhaps the incompetence of Trump's new Florida lawyers, undoubtedly hired for their good looks, bears this out. But I would say the majority of the lawyers know that what they've been doing to subvert democracy is wrong, immoral, illegal, and un-American. Lawyers should be held accountable. And there's an organization that is doing just that. It's called the 65 Project, based on the 65 lawsuits that over 100 lawyers helped to file to keep Donald Trump in power. Tomorrow is your chance to hear all about the project from the managing director, Michael Teeter, and Democrats Abroad Committee and the DA Global Black Caucus are hosting this event to help preserve America's democracy and the rule of law and highlight the importance of our votes from abroad. Information regarding the webinar will be posted below. So let's mobilize, galvanize, and energize our strength together to take back our democracy from minority rule. Go to votefromabroad.org to get your ballot wherever you are. Get active, join Democrats Abroad. The latest polls shows that Democrats are gaining ground, and in fact, American women are organizing around the Dobbs case and the repeal of women's reproductive rights. We are now 70 days from November. While we can be optimistic, let's not be complacent. Thanks for listening, and please get out there and vote.
Always tells it just like it is. And today, she's come to us with it just like it is. That Tilila Report. Thank you so much, Tilila, for that. I want to ask Nana if she is able to introduce our next guest. Otherwise, I'll keep going. Can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yes, I cannot introduce Caleb, but I do have some special questions for him.
Well, let us go ahead and make the introduction, and we'll come back to you just a little later. Our next guest is a young man by the name of Caleb Neverson. Caleb was born in Brooklyn, New York, right? But he made Birmingham his home in 2001. He grew up on the west side of Birmingham in the Jones Valley neighborhood. Okay, we'll talk about that a little later. He's a graduate of Winona High School in 2019. He's an alum of Lawson State Community College, and currently he's attending Miles College, where he is a criminal justice major. For those of you who don't know, Miles College is one of the historical Black colleges that is still very functional today. At the age of 19, Caleb started his company, Jordan Solutions LLC, which is, get this, it's a political consulting firm. 19 years old, a political consulting firm. My God, my God, my God. And the firm focuses on enhancing technology and engagement in local and state government. So, upon the founding of this company, he is now known as the youngest owner of a political consulting firm in the state of Alabama. Then, at the age of 20, Caleb started Neverson Foundation. Huh? Can you believe this? Neverson Foundation at the age of 20. And he's going to tell us about that and what's involved with the foundation. Currently, in addition to being a student at Miles College, Caleb serves as president of the Metro Birmingham NAACP Youth Council, and he's also president of the Birmingham Police Youth Academy. Isn't that something? I'm sorry, Youth Advisory Board. Caleb lives his life by a quote from President Barack Obama. Strangely enough, a quote that also is very close to my heart, which is also the theme for Queen Mother Speaks this entire season. And it says this: change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. It just won't come. We're the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. And we are the change that we seek. So I now want to just turn the show over to Caleb and let him talk to us. And I have a few questions for you as well, Caleb. But first, just tell us some things about yourself. For example, you are a passionate social activist fighting for equality and economic reform. Tell us some of the activities involved with that, please.
Yes, well, first, I'd like to thank you, Queen Mother, for allowing me the opportunity to be on your show. So, of course, good morning. If you're on the United States side, good morning. If you are on the continent of Africa, good evening. My name is Caleb Neverson, and I do a plethora of things. I like to often joke and tell people that when I was born, I came out watching CNN. because I've always had a very deep and passionate love for politics. However, it wasn't until my grandmother instilled in me the importance of being a public servant that I actually had an interest in actually doing the work to increase the quality of life for the people that live in the same neighborhood that I reside. So at the age of 19, I had the opportunity to intern with a city councilor. And from there, we kept in contact, and the communication turned into an internship. And with that internship, I had the opportunity to see exactly how city government works. And while I was involved in city government, I noticed that one of the basic issues that we lacked was basic communication. So from there, I started my company, Jordan Solutions, in which my internship turned into a contract with the city councilor. And with that contract, I was able to create a software and a platform that allows citizens in the specific district that he represented to be able to speak and track all of the concerns that his citizens were dealing with. So we track and monitor those concerns from the point that they reported during their neighborhood meeting or any other outlets throughout the city, and monitor them until they are completely resolved. In addition to that, I've had the opportunity to do so many things as well, but we'll definitely get into that. But definitely, thank you so much for the opportunity to be on the show this morning.
Okay. So an alum from Lawson State and currently at Miles College, majoring in criminal justice. Now, what is your intent with your degree? Did you hear me?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I'll ask again. I'm saying that you're currently at Miles College and you are a criminal justice major. The question is, what do you intend to do with that JD degree?
So my intention with the degree is, I believe our listeners can spot out the scope of what I'm trying to do. I plan to be an attorney. It wasn't until my grandmother instilled in me the importance of being a public servant, as I mentioned, that I began to explore different options within the realm of being a public servant. And one of the things that I absolutely have a passion for is helping people. And I believe that being an attorney, specifically specializing in the area of civil rights, will give me an opportunity and a platform to be able to may not have a voice, as well as using and exercising the law for those who may not be able to interpret it.
All right, very well. Certainly, with a law degree, one becomes a lawyer. But you see, in today's world, there are so many things going on and so many new ways that people are doing things. I was wondering what was some of your overall intents with having the degree. Nana, you have some questions?
I wanted to know if you plan on putting together a platform to mentor other young people to get them involved in politics, because as you heard on Elizabeth's report, we're in dire straits and we need a whole new generation of leadership.
Absolutely. There's a number of ways that I'm looking to get younger people involved in politics and just the general overall process of serving. One of the ways is right now on a local level in the city of Birmingham. For about a year now, I've been working with the local city council to establish a youth council. And primarily, it gives young people within the city of Birmingham, Alabama, an opportunity to interact with their city councilors, as well as the mayor and city leadership generally, to give them an opportunity to speak directly with them, ask them questions, and actually have an actual hand in shaping city government as we know it. You know, as if we look around in government throughout the country and throughout the world, rather, we see that there's a large number of seasoned elected officials that are currently in the seat, and it's important that we also reach down and shape the next culture of those next leaders. So it's important that we give younger people an opportunity to see what's going on now, so that when an opportunity or time presents itself, they'll not also be seasoned, but they'll also be prepared for the duties that hands. To whom much is given, much is required. and we want to ensure that young people are able to handle that task at hand.
Exactly. Well, as you know, we have quite a few seasoned officials, if you want to call that, the career politicians. So we need to hear on a regular basis from the young people. We have a segment that we do and where we've added several young African leaders and innovators to come on the Queen Mother Speak show. So we want you to know you're going to be invited back again because we want to hear updates.
Sure.
So now tell us, do you have social media? I was typing that people around the country can call your elected officials to help reinforce your idea and show support for your idea, and that they can call their own government officials to implement a similar program that you have in terms of them hearing from the young people until we can get them in office. So Queen Mother and I, we just created a platform for this Kenyan election called Bunga Dada Bunga. And that was to give women, well, basically all people who were marginalized, but particularly women's voices, the opportunity to be heard. Because there, if you don't have a telephone, internet credits, a strong internet connection, or a television support or financial support, you can't get into politics. So did you have any aspirations of running for office?
As a young person, I definitely did have an aspiration to run for office. But I believe that at that time, particular moment in time, I wasn't fully educated on the aspects that went hand in hand with actually running for office: the financial aspect, the understanding what your why is, the formulating a platform that caters to the people that you're trying to represent. So it was then that I made the decision to kind of shift gears until I was ready to make that decision to actually run for office. So, which is when I had the opportunity to be introduced to political consulting, which is more of a background aspect. And it was a blessing in disguise as well, because it also gave me the opportunity to learn from the back end what actually goes on, as well as how to handle certain issues and things of that nature. And I also had a personal note that I told myself back then, which was that I can have an aspiration in myself to run for office. However, because I have an aspiration, it does not mean that I'm the right person for the seat. So until you speak with citizens and actually see that there is a need for you and you are being pushed by the people to run for a specific seat, that's when I told myself that I would allow myself and push myself to seek that position.
Well, I definitely want to encourage you that because you've met the two of us, God has special plans for you. Yep. Don't wait on somebody else to tell you the vision, because see, nobody had the vision for your mentorship into your program now. So many people can see something that you need to do, but it has to be the part that you're passionate about, because people will tell us all the time what we need to do. But sometimes the moment causes for you to take action. So we want you to prepare that war chest so that at the moment, in fact, I want to say this: anytime God gives you a vision, he provides provision. You won't see it until the time comes, because often a week or two out, I can't see the way. I don't know the people. I don't know where the money's going to come from. I don't know where the time's going to come from, but all of a sudden, all of it comes together. And then we just take action. And Queen Mother's family, I don't know how long you've known her, because you're very young, but her family have been involved in Birmingham civil rights for decades.
So Caleb, this might be the time to let the audience know who you are.
Oh, okay. Yes. I see the resemblance. Now that I look, go ahead.
So yes, I'm very quite familiar with the work of Dr. King, as well as her family, considering that I am a descendant of the family.
Okay.
I am her nephew, and I believe we have a very rich and great history within our family. And I often say we have the luxury of having literally royalty within our family. Our family started in the mid 1800s with Amelia and Somerset King, who were descendants of slaves. And the simple idea and the thought the fact that, you know, our family descended from slaves in the mid 1800s, and has, you know, gone on to do quite amazing things, such as
Yes.
my auntie, Carolyn Louise King, who integrated Jones Valley Middle School, which I had the opportunity to attend, as well as
Oh,
be promoted from that school as well, and still live in that area. The funny thing is, when people ask me why specifically am I involved in politics or being a public servant in the area that I represent, funny thing is that it's kind of a full circle moment.
yes.
I kind of say the area that I'm representing now in the city council is actually the area that my family resided in. So it's quite an interesting thing when I hear my aunt Tashmia tell me stories about how she would walk to school and the
Yes.
bus would pass her, and, you know, she would be taunted by the students on that area. And for now, you know, decades later, having a nephew who is over the entire district that, you know, our family was once not welcome, is
I
quite
have
an
chills.
amazing full circle moment.
I
To
have
be able to,
chills, Caleb.
yeah.
I actually have chills
Mm,
and goosebumps because, and tears in my eyes,
mm,
because you left out that she had to walk with guards.
yeah.
She had to walk with armed guards. You're in the
Mm,
same place where they would bomb the churches
yep.
for Condoleezza Rice, whether people like her or not. It's
Hmm.
like we don't know the things that each of them have been through.
Yeah.
And even your auntie Dash, she is so quiet when it comes to her family, but
Hmm.
she was President Clinton's business person for the entire United States. Out of every female, male-owned business, she is a mover, a shaker. She integrated South Africa. So we don't want you to wait. We want you to hear from
Exactly.
God and move with the
Woo!
Spirit. That's
Yes,
right.
yes. I've
Because
got another
go
question
ahead,
for
go ahead,
Caleb.
go ahead.
Mm,
Jordan Solutions.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
Yes.
yes. Jordan Solution is the political consulting company that I started actually as a senior in high school. Um, and it's actually my name. Jordan is my middle name, and Solution, I wanted it to be general. So with Solution, we cover a multitude of different things. So before, it started off as a photography company, and generally
Oh,
it was a bit of a side thing where um, I had invested in a camera upon graduating from high school. And here and then, I would do little gigs, people's events, and take photos of them. However, I realized and kind of felt inside that, you know, I could offer much more than just taking a picture of someone. So with the opportunity that I had with being an intern at City Hall, I began to literally physically put the camera down and see what else is there that I can do to actually impact someone's life. So
mm,
at the age of 19, I started the company. And um, one of the things that I was responsible for, I served as in a position of neighborhood liaison. And primarily, I worked with community and neighborhood leaders to go to their neighborhood meetings, which were 17 neighborhood meetings at that time, a month. And
okay.
I would talk with those community leaders and gather the concerns that they had, and kind of streamline them to the mayor's office and ensure that those concerns were resolved. And when I speak of concerns, for those who may be unsure, the concerns are generally basic city needs. So if a citizen calls my line and a power line has fallen, or a tree has fallen, or they live next to a dilapidated structure or an overgrown lot, they'll call the counselor's office, and it'll be streamlined to me, and I ensure that ultimately it gets resolved. One of the issues
Mm,
that I found within that was the system was a bit flawed as it relates to how the communication was being received and how it was being maintained. So
mm,
it was there that I say that my company began to be more of an asset to elected officials, because I created a platform, which is ultimately a spreadsheet that outlines specifically the citizens' concerns. So we take their name, their concern, the day that they reported it, as well as keep a log on any interaction that we've had with any department head regarding their specific concern. And because of that, we've seen a great influx in concerns actually being resolved. So at that time, when I was working with that city councilor, we had the number one spot in concerns that were reported by citizens, as well as that were resolved. And there were 9 city councilors throughout the entire city, and a 17-year-old, a 19-year-old, got that #1 spot just from a simple platform. And that's generally what Jordan
That's a
Solutions
big deal.
is. It started off
That
with
is a big
political consulting. So that was the first thing. So we do a lot of things. So aside from that, we also run political campaigns. We've had the opportunity to work alongside many elected officials and be responsible, played an influential role in actually getting them into office. Happy to say that we've won more elections than we've lost, and we're actually putting in great people that still representing their areas with great passion. In addition to political consulting and running campaigns, I like to say that one of the sexy things that we do is social media content. We do graphic designs and create social media content for 3 law firms here in the city of Birmingham. And primarily what we do with that is just use their platforms and give them an opportunity and create graphics and things of that nature to kind of push them to the next level, as well as market them in a way that they get to their target audience. But I like to consider my company a Swiss Army knife because we do so many things. So we're not limited to just political consulting or content creation. So we're venturing off into some new things as well. But it's very exciting. That's Jordan Solutions in a nutshell.
Well, what on earth is there left for the foundation to do?
Presidency.
I'm sorry?
Presidency.
The foundation, your foundation. So what does it do? I mean, my God, we've heard of all of these things. So what is it that the foundation now does?
So with the foundation, I use it as an opportunity to do mentorship. So there's a number of people within the district that I represent that I get young people and take them under my wing and kind of introduce them to city government. But if they're not interested in city government, we find other outlets to help them get to that next level in which they want to go to. We have a lot of young people who is interested in actually doing or recording music. A shameless plug, I actually play piano as well. So one of the things that I've done.
Have no shame.
Yeah, one of the things that I've done with the foundation.
Okay.
One of the things that I've done with the foundation was actually make a recording studio. Since we had an influx in young people who actually wanted to do music, I created a recording studio, and which is available to them anytime that they would like, free of charge. And we also, connect them with a way that they can put their music out on the market, which we use a distribution platform that they have access to, where after they record a music, they do the engineering and everything of that nature. They can put it on the market and, of course, receive money and streams and royalties from that. So, it's much of a larger thing than, just putting vocals to an instrumental and placing it out there. They're also learning a marketing tactic, how to brand themselves, as well as, learning a lot of tools as well. One thing I'm going to start to do as well with the foundation is do inspirationals. During the pandemic, I think we all were in a bubble in a way where we were isolated to a point where we had no motivation to do many things. So I like to call it, Insights for Midnight, which is going to be a series that I'm going to launch in 2023. That's basically going to be a series of 1 minute to 30-second inspirationals that'll basically be put out to inspire people. I've been sitting on that for a while, but there's that's the primary basis of the foundation, is to be a service to other people. Teach other people the knowledge that I have, and while uplifting them at the same time.
Well, promise to send us some of those so we can at least add them here. And one of the other hats that I wear is I'm with the Faces of Rap Mothers. I'm the historian, but I also have a channel and can add your music to their channel.
That'd be awesome.
A lot of things people don't know that there's inspirational or Christian hip hop.
Yes.
So I make it part of my mission to add East Coast rappers because they're located on the West Coast. Yep. And we're also with the Compound, Snoop Dogg's Compound. They're also with Harry O. We have distribution on Universal, BET Plus, MTV, and Candy writes for 21 hip hop and music magazines and articles, as well as her two children are also rap. So it's really important that you keep us in the loop. Your
Keep us in
auntie
the
is
loop.
well connected.
Yeah.
And we also do a grant writing series. And so there's a number of things that we can connect you to your foundation, but also teach the young people in your foundation to write grants, because during pandemic and other times when money dried up, jobs dried up, all the money was put into grants for foundations, individuals, businesses, and organizations. So teaching our young people and our community servants and the communities to write grants for what they need and participate in the census and voting, voter registration. I don't know, but if you knew it, but your auntie, her organization, Democrats Abroad, have swung the last couple elections.
Yep.
You remember at the midnight, we were waiting on the overseas vote to come in. It definitely changed the election in all of these swing states, and it changed the national election. So it is so important that you stay in touch with your auntie, because she is a mover and shaker from wherever she's at.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, she teaches business principles. She's one of the top teachers for Goldman and Sachs on credit and business. So you want to make sure, listen, I'm twisting her arm here, that you bring her in to teach, the young people. You got to teach the young people how to manage credit, how to manage their finances, how to go into business, ethical business practices, because during the pandemic, scamming became the thing. I said to Queen Mother, I said, I don't know how people have a $50 to $100 a day drug habit and no job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point that you made as well. But yeah, in addition to how to teach young people how to survive and interact socially, it's important that we instill in them the importance of financial literacy, which is something that unfortunately isn't taught in American high schools, especially minority high schools and things of that nature. So ultimately, as a consequence, it results in us graduating, going to the next level without having these basic knowledge of principles, such as what is the importance of credit, what is the importance of a bank account, how to actually start an LLC and things of that nature, which is also another thing that my foundation helps with as well, which is helping young people or generally just people generally how to start a business. What is an LLC? What does it stand for? What is an S corp? What is an EIN number? How to file taxes. What's the importance of that? What is the percentage that you have to distribute every month and every year? How to use how to establish business credit, how to use your business credit as leverage to do personal things. It's a lot of things that should be basic knowledge, but isn't taught. But all of the resources that we have is at our fingertips. I like to say the thing is the difference between the children of the civil rights movement and the children of today is that we have the luxury of having Google. Everything is Googleable nowadays, but it first starts to plant a seed. Those resources can be available, but if we don't spark a change or spark an interest in someone's mind to go and search it, then that those resources and information will go in vain.
Teaching how to research is very, very important. So before we get off this show or another minute, we want you to tell our listening audience, how did they get in touch with you? Tell us about your social media. We need your Facebook page. We need your Instagram page. We need Twitter, YouTube, whatever you have. Let us hear it.
Yeah. So I think the best social media platform for me to interact on is Facebook. So you can actually reach me at Caleb J. Neverson, which is just my name, Caleb, CALEB, Neverson, NEVERSON. Or you can reach me on Instagram, which is CJordan3. It's just
and Jordan is JORDAN?
Yes, JORDAN.
Okay, so Instagram is C Jordan, and what's the last part?
3, the number 3.
The number 3. Okay, at IG.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna put that @ symbol in there. We're gonna get you up there, and then we are gonna go out and we're gonna like all your social media and connect you to ours. She has a lot, so you might as well leverage family social media. And I want to thank Estelle for her comments. She said Congrats, Queen Mother, on another inspirational show. Caleb, you are that inspiration. And we want young people around the world, every parent, grandparent, and youth. Now we want you to share this program with all of your young people, because so often we hear our young people are not doing anything. They're not making a difference. They're wasting away their lives. And that's why here at Queen Mother Speaks, we give you lots of different ideas. And I know why your auntie had you on the show, because now that the Kenyan election 2022 is over, and Caleb, I don't know if you know much about Kenya, but every 5 years they have their national elections. They had over 5,000 women running for office. They have a 2/3 rule that say women should be 2/3 of the people elected. It's only 1/12. So they're not even following their own constitutional rules.
Yeah.
And people get beat, robbed, slashed, raped, and killed every 5 years. And this time,
Well now, let us set the record straight for 2023. In the year 2020, the year right now, 2022, we did have the election on August the 9th.
My birthday.
Right?
Right.
And after the election, there was a little conflict over who the real president should be.
Right.
So the Supreme Court of Kenya stepped in.
Okay.
And they reviewed all of the data. And they did make an announcement on Tuesday this week, just yesterday, that it is President-elect Ruto is now the new president of Kenya, a much younger man.
Okay.
You see, the old school is still in, and I don't have anything against the old school. I just want them to step aside, continue to train and teach the young people, and let the young people like Caleb get in there. Caleb, I've got a burning question for you.
Yes.
Luckily for me, I have heard through the grapevine, Caleb. I've heard something through the grapevine, through your lady Mo, your auntie from Curacao, now hanging out in Atlanta, Georgia. Tell us, if it's okay to share it, tell us what's new on your horizon.
Yeah, so currently have another opportunity on a personal level. From time to time, I run political campaigns independent from my company, and this new thing that I'm working on is actually an opportunity that was presented to me with an organization called Progressive Turnout Project. In 2020, I worked with them to speak and interact with voters here in the state of Alabama during the Doug Jones Senate race. So I worked with them and reconnected with them in their alumni pool this year. And I'm happy to announce that beginning next week, I will actually be moving to Georgia for the next 3 months to help with the Raphael Warnock campaign and Stacey Abrams campaign. And with that position, I'll be working as I forget the position, the state relational director for that. So primarily, I'll be working with businesses and people who have small businesses within the state of Georgia to help leverage and use their platforms to encourage people and push them out to vote.
Wow. Isn't that great, Nana? So we're going to talk offline about some things that we can do with that, Caleb. I just couldn't wait. Congratulations to you. That is fabulous. That is absolutely fabulous. And if there's any way, Nana, that we can connect Caleb to this delegation of Senegalese mayors who are now in DC for that training with Elizabeth Myers, that would be very, very wonderful. They're only in the country, Caleb, for 2 weeks, but I think it's a delegation of about 30 politicians from Senegal, West Africa, in DC right now. I think it would be great if there's any way we could hook you up with that into the future. I think that would be just great. That would be just great. Well, Nana, you've already done what I wanted us to do with Caleb, which was to put his contact information into the Queen Mother Speaks platform, chat platform, so that it could be picked up and carried through all of our social media. And I don't know how many altogether that we're running right now, but we will know in a few weeks, because Nana's got 4 or 5 Facebook pages by herself. Okay, and that's just
3
Facebook.
Instagram, 2 Twitter,
We're working on
YouTube. We
running everything across the platforms, and we want to do the same thing with you and the work
yeah,
that you are doing. And who knows? I mean, we're looking at another 5 years from now in Kenya, another election where we do want women to be empowered and we want young people to be empowered. So who
yes,
knows? Maybe we can get you over here for a workshop with young
definitely.
men and women.
Yeah.
We are trying, we're on the next steps for Kenya. And the important thing, Caleb, to remember, whether you win or whether you lose is not the issue. The
Yeah.
fact that you got your voice and platform and manifesto used in a positive term, usually that has a negative term here in America, but in a positive way, you get international experience, you get to help young people around the world, which you're doing today by inspiring young people around the world and letting them know that it's possible without a lot of money, without a lot of experience. I'm going to request that you write a book or open a YouTube page and put the videos out, of even the sessions with the young people. And I'll send you some ideas and things like that. Don't forget to like his Facebook page. Give it to us one more time, Caleb.
Yes, my Facebook page is my name, Caleb, Caleb, last name Neverson, Neverson. And I like to mention something as well. We talk about young people and women getting in power. As of the last election in the city of Birmingham, we had the opportunity to actually do that. So for the first time, literally in the state of Alabama and in the history of Alabama, we have the first majority African-American city council, as well as the first majority women-led city council. So the women have the majority on our city council now. So let that be a stepping stone that, it's absolutely possible. Literally, the city of Birmingham is ran by a plethora of women.
Well, let me say this, Caleb. The thing I was telling them with Bunga Dada Bunga is in Kenya, women, if their dresses weren't a certain length, they'd be attacked and beaten. They can't have medical care or leave the country without a male co-signer's permission. They can't get medical help for their children. Things are changing slowly, but they are thought that their best use is at home. And that is a good use. That is a great use. But men are at home and they still get to lead countries. They still get to follow their dreams, even if they're at home. And women in America and around the world, we work. But one thing we will do is make sure that our sons and our daughters have equal access to education, medical care, that our streets are safe for everybody, that they're clean, beautified communities, having everything we need, good roads, good libraries, good childcare, and right now around the world, access to good food. You can't have a good brain if you're not putting good food in your body. You don't have the strength, and access to medical care is so important, and education. And women around the world still do not have equal education or health care that they need. So that's why it's so important to have everybody included. I'm not for women only. I'm for strengthening families. We got to strengthen the males. So does the Caleb Foundation do anything with felons? So prison system in Alabama is awful in case people haven't heard. Don't go to jail there.
Yeah. So it's we're still, so with the NAACP, we work hand in hand with the sheriff's office to work with felons. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of information that generally people are unaware of as it relates to felons. So I think one of the great things is that a lot of people don't know that felons have an opportunity to actually own a business. Even if you have it on your record, you can start an LLC and do things of that nature. So one of my hopes is that with the platform that we have with the NAACP is to continue to utilize that platform to work with felons to, if they have a desire to start their business, number one, spark the interest, and number two, actually help them to set that up as well. Another thing that I would love for us to see, in addition to following the lead of Florida, which is also a Republican state, as well as a few other states throughout the country, giving felons the right to vote. I believe that if you've served your time,
Right.
your sentence is over, that you are a citizen. You should be granted those rights as well.
They have
Yeah.
to apply for that. They have to
Yep.
apply, and many don't know to apply.
Exactly.
Also, I start with record expungement. There's money available if your state requires people to pay for that opportunity. But here in the state of Georgia, we were going to do a record expungement class. So I was gathering the financial resources, and they said, no, they don't have to have financial resources here, but there is an application process. So that's on my list of to-dos before this year. And that's usually the Christmas present that I give kids. Everybody can give them toys. I want to give them a working parent back in the house who is fully capable, can work and get any chip on their shoulders off. So there's a lot of resources available, and we'll help connect you and there's also housing. There's that business assistance you're talking about. And there's a lot for veterans too, free programs. We're getting people's rent paid. So we'll give you all those resources I have. We're going to throw the whole book at you. Listen, and that's what we're saying. Access to information is key. And that's why Queen Mother Speaks started, because when people want to come to Africa for education, when they want to come for business, or if you just want to come for tourism, genealogy, and reconnecting to your roots, or stand on the sandy beaches and beautiful places, safari with your auntie, there's an open door all the time. And there's actually grant money to get you there. So the important thing is that you see the world, because you get to benchmark. That's where you go around the world and see the best things, and then bring them back to places that they're not.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Two things I'd like to say. One, in correction, Queen Mother Speaks actually started in the first year of pandemic, but also around, even before that, the George Floyd time, when where policemen were shooting up Black people left and right. And I just got a lot of calls from mothers, Black mothers in America, saying, we got to get out of here. They're killing our boys. What do we need to do to come over there to be with you? That's the genesis of how Queen Mother Speaks actually got started. But something else, Caleb, I won't go into it in detail now, but offline we can talk about education. Auntie is a part of a program whereby we offer education, master's degree, bachelor's degree, and PhDs to prisoners. Okay, and we do mail-in training, and now we've changed some of that to doing some online stuff. So we'll talk about that further offline. Because he's got so much on his shoulders, but that's okay. I know that the only people I know who can put something else on their plate are people who are busy. See, the non-busy people don't.
She always says that. She always says that.
I just want to make mention at this time, Caleb, again, something we'll talk about offline. Nana, you didn't get the information on the Ahadi pads?
Okay. So, as you know, Queen Mother Speaks, we do lots of different projects around the world. And this is a project that's near to my heart. Give me just a moment. So in many places, they don't have the conveniences that we have. And they don't have even access. Blood donorship and is key here on Queen Mother Speaks. We've had the blood donor ambassador on many times. But also, we want to make sure that women everywhere have access to sanitary products that they need. And many times they do not. So it's important to us that one of our projects here on Queen Mother Speaks for our second year anniversary was to distribute 1,500 reusable pads in 5 African villages. So we're asking people to donate USD, United States dollars, $10, or 1,000 Kenya shillings. So what will that do? It'll supply 4 reusable pads and 2 panties, sets of underwear, to each girl in these villages. So what happens is they're made of breathable cotton cloth. They're washable and reusable for about a year. Best of all, the girls get to stay in school, not miss class, and increase their chances of maximizing their potential, fulfilling their destinies. And for $10 today, join us. Please send it to either PayPal, that's DASHA King dashaking@gmail.com. Her email, dashaking@gmail.com, or M-Pesa. That is just like Western Union. They're in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, and throughout East Africa. It's pay bill plus 256-50965. So we're going to post that on the Queen Mother Speaks pages, on Teresa Kemp
Now
pages.
let me just read that. Is the M-Pesa, as she stated, is similar to Western Union. It's called M-Pesa pay bill. So people in here in Kenya and some of the other African, East African places can send us your 10 US dollars or your 1,000 Kenya shillings by M-Pesa to this number. Plus, you see it on the screen there.
Yes.
You can send it to that way. And this is what the badge look like. It is made by a local entrepreneurial firm, and they hire young people to make it. So it's creating jobs. All right. But we want to do something. You know, both Nana and I have villages that we belong to in West Africa.
Mhm.
So we want to support our villages plus a few more. That's why we're wanting to do 1,500. And what happens is each girl gets a little kit like this. The inside of the kit, okay, are the pads and the panties. And this is what your $10 will buy each girl.
Right. And what
All
people
right.
don't understand is they don't have the same type of sewage system that we do.
No, we
That's
don't. We also want to say that you can send us your $10 through PayPal, and you send it to dashaking@gmail.com. Dasha, DASHA, dashaking@gmail.com. That is PayPal, and it will come to us directly. All right. So thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. We're not going to do all of the mentions for today, but we do have to mention this one. Wake up, stand up for your rights. Wake up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. And we're talking about the fight for voting. It is time to vote. The midterm elections are coming around fairly soon. Please make sure that you are registered. Please make sure that you have filled out your ballot. Please make sure that you know that they've received your ballot. That's all you have to do. If you want some changes in the future, as Caleb has said, and Queen Mother and Nana has said, you have to be the change that you want to see. And the way you make that change is by voting. Granted, you may not get everything you want, but you got to start somewhere. And voting is part of what makes the difference, as you have already seen with the 2020 election. So with people who are living abroad, Queen Mother want to tell you to go to www.votefromabroad.org. www.votefromabroad.org. There is no limit to what we can do when we come together. So once again, I'm going to ask you to stand up for that. The second tape that Elizabeth was talking about, the 65 Project with Michael Teeter. You may want to put that name in the chat, Nana. Michael Teeter, Teter, with the 65 Project. And the 65 Project is about accountability for all of those 500 lawyers around the country who helped former President Trump. Okay, the 65 Project is dealing with all of those lawyers who broke their law of integrity, getting themselves involved. So we want to bring them accountable for what they did. All right. We want to say that every Wednesday, every week, live at 10 a.m. New York time, 5 p.m. Kenya time, you will find Queen Mother Speaks 9 a.m. Birmingham time. Listen, go ahead and find out what your time zone is so that you can be tuning in on the show. We're not going to go through all of the credits right now. We're just going to take a moment now and give our closing kiss. We believe that love can change the world. We know that love and hugs is what we all need as human beings. So we end the Queen Mother Speaks show every week by throwing out kisses of love. And when you receive these into your heart and let them help you, because this is our way of loving on you from afar. And the way we do this, Caleb, we throw out one kiss with the left hand, one kiss with the right hand, put both hands together and give a super duper. Are we ready?
I love you. Yes.
Let's go. Wait a minute. Just before we do that, let me see if anybody has anything else to say before we close this spectacular show. Thank you. We will now do our kisses. Left hand first. Mwah. Okay, right hand. Okay, both hands.
She's the world's slowest kisser, Caleb. You are loved. You are
Thank
loved.
you for tuning in every Wednesday, every week. This is Queen Mother Speaks. We're going to leave the studio now. Go ahead and send in your $10, and we'll be sure to acknowledge it and let you know that we received it. All right, tomorrow, Thursday,
Bye-bye.
7 p.m. Kenya time, 12 p.m. New York time, Bonga Dada Bonga. Caleb, please tune in to Bonga Dada Bonga and see what's happening with that now. We will now end the broadcast. We love you.
Love
Thank you for
you.
tuning in.
You hear my
Oh, did you hear
buddy?
that coming from baby Zaire?
I
That's
know,
lovely.
right?